Good morning. My name is Amber Winton, and I am the CEO and founder of NextWork. And today I'm going to be answering some of your questions. Let's go. How do you hire for a good generalist? This is really important. I think when we say a generalist, what is a generalist? A generalist is someone who says, whatever NextWork needs, I will do. That is what a generalist is. This is different to an engineer, for example, a designer, someone who has a specialist set of skills. They're going to do what is needed in their realm, and you're going to be really good at it, and you need that. You also, in a startup, especially in the early days, need a bunch of different people who are like, whatever needs doing, I'm going to jump into that. Finance, no problem. Ops, no problem. Creating videos, doing the grunt work, no problem. Whatever the company needs, I'm here to do it. Put me on anything, and I'm going to give it a go. That is so valuable. How do you hire these people? Where do you find them? In my experience, a really good generalist is someone that you can find early on, straight out of university. They have a history of some real intensity, some real work in their life that has been quite intense. This can be multiple different jobs. It could be that they were part of a really high performing team, whether that's sports or business or clubs. There is something in their track record that you look at and you say, holy moly, this person is intense. First of all, that's what I'm looking for. This also can give you some good tips on where to find these people. You look for groups of intense people, like a business club, sport team, or something like that, and you're going to find intense people there. So I'm looking for some sort of intensity, some sort of drive. Then I'm looking to work out, can this person commit? Can they drop their ego a bit? The ego death in a startup is really important early on, especially for a generalist. You might have a generalist looking after something like options and equity, a really high stakes, important thing. Someone has to run it. And initially it might be the founder, but over time they actually might develop into someone else. So on one hand, you had high responsibility and no one else is going to do this job. This person has to own that, take the lead, and be responsible for a lot. Then on the other hand, that same person might need to take out the trash. They might need to spend hours just doing a manual, soulless task that no one else is going to do. So a generalist kind of fits into a really weird bucket of you have to do a lot of things that have a very high responsibility, and then you have to do the things that no one else is going to do but just really need to get done. So in order to find someone who's capable of this, you really need someone that has very little to no ego. That they're not going to be like, oh, that's beneath me. That's not my job. I'm better than that. I have more skills than that. When hiring, I go by the framework hungry, humble, smart. Do they have the drive? Are they hungry? Do they have the humility to do different tasks? And then are they smart enough for this? And smarts isn't actually IQ smarts. Smarts is emotional smarts. Are they able to play in a team? Do they have the emotional smarts to get along with other people? Can they adapt? Can they evolve socially? Hungry, humble, smart. That's what I'm looking for in a really good generalist. And then I'm looking for a really good alignment of whys. I'm trying to understand what is their why, what drives them in life, what do they want to achieve. And then we have NextWork's why and NextWork's purpose and meaning. What you're trying to do is create a win-win situation for this person where they can achieve their personal goals while achieving or through achieving NextWork's goals. And if you can do that, then you're creating a really lovely environment because you are making sure that they are getting what they want and NextWork is getting what NextWork needs. And that's the ideal. Find someone who's intense as a generalist. Find someone who doesn't really have that ego or you can stress test for that ego. And then look for someone that you're willing to spend a 12-hour flight next to. That's a really good litmus test. Would you sit for 12 hours on a plane next to this person? Because you might actually need to do that. If you're traveling around the world and your startup is going to America or going to Europe, chances are at some stage you might find yourself sitting next to this person on a flight. So hungry, humble, smart. Do they have the drive? Do they have the ego death? And can they actually be a nice person that you want to hang around all the time? Because a generalist is going to be making up in time what they lack in skills.